say to millions of people who don't believe you? What do you say to millions who don't believe you?
Well, they shouldn't be having public hearings. This is a hoax. This is just like the Russian witch hunt. This is just a continuation. When you look at the lawyer for the whistleblower, I thought it ended when they found out that the lawyer was so compromised. I mean, the lawyer's the bad guy. So you look at that, I thought that was the end of it. No, this is just a continuation of the hoax. It's a disgraceful thing. In the meantime, we've got the best markets we've ever had, stock markets. We have the best unemployment numbers we've ever had. We have the best employment numbers we've ever had. We have almost 160 million people. We've never been even close to that. So we're doing it, but unfortunately, you people don't want to talk about that.
Here we have Trump claiming now that we shouldn't be having public hearings. Just for context, this is the same guy who gave his personal blessing to Republican congressmen led by Matt Gaetz to storm a secure hearing room in the Capitol and demand that the private depositions become public. Now, what this tells you, obviously, is that it was never about the process. It was never about making these hearings public or private. The only goal here is just to mount defenses, even if those defenses are meaningless or if they contradict them immediately. These tactics are just obstruction for the sake of obstruction, which, for a guy whose current impeachment is based in part on obstruction, is par for the course. And look, we knew that this defense was in bad faith all along, considering that we've endured an avalanche of whatever desperate roadblocks the GOP could cook up. They've claimed that the whistleblower is a partisan, that you can't rely on secondhand information, that Adam Schiff personally counseled the whistleblower, that impeachment is unconstitutional, that Democrats aren't allowing any Republicans to be involved in depositions, that closed-door interviews are unconstitutional, that there was never a quid pro quo, that, okay, there was a quid pro quo, but that's not even illegal. Every single one of these are lies. And every day, these BS excuses get swatted away, and every day, a new one pops up. But the only consistency amid all of this is that Republicans are doing everything they can to obstruct this investigation and lie to the American people. Trump goes on to claim that because he baselessly decried the whistleblower's lawyer as compromised, that would be the end of it. In other words, despite the fact that everything in the complaint had been corroborated, despite the fact that Trump tried to extort Ukraine into smearing his top political opponent, despite withholding hundreds of millions of dollars in previously allocated military aid for a country that desperately needs it, despite appointing his goon, Rudy Giuliani, to act as a shadow State Department and circumvent national security protocols, despite trying to hide the White House's summary of the call in a secure server, despite preventing administration officials from testifying to investigators, despite all of that, because Republicans tried to brand the whistleblower's lawyer as compromised, that Trump was in the clear. I don't know what combination of delusion and bad faith is happening here, but there is a lot of both. And of course, after mounting these tepid defenses, Trump pivots to the stock market and unemployment numbers. And this has been a recurring theme. Trump is actually suggesting that because we have a strong economy, an economy that's been growing for 108 straight months, by the way, well before Trump took office, that somehow precludes him from being held accountable for committing crimes. And Trump has leaned on this excuse countless times before, suggesting that he's immune to oversight because the Dow is having a good day, or because unemployment figures for some subset of the population continue to rise. As if each positive economic indicator is another get-out-of-jail-free card, a literal get-out-of-jail-free card. Of course, it's not. We could have the strongest economy in the history of the world, and it wouldn't make a difference because, and I know this might come as a bit of a surprise, it's still illegal to commit crimes. So Trump and the rest of his mouthpieces can pretend that they don't want public hearings only weeks after they begged for exactly that, but Democrats are going to continue on with their process regardless of these desperate tactics from the right. And no matter how much they might try to hide the truth about what Trump's done, it's clearly going to be exposed.